Hey everyone, this is a tutorial video for how to build one of the first shapes I ever did before I started uploading and everything, that is called the rigid icosahedron. And I actually discovered this when I was trying to figure out how to build a solid icosahedron. And if you've ever tried to build a solid icosahedron, you've probably figured out that it doesn't really work out too well. If you build it, this is, by the way, all of these are solid icosahedra. If you try to build them small, they kind of work, but you can see there's kind of a gap here where they won't all fit together exactly. And it just gets worse as you go bigger. Like this one has this big fissure across the side here. And then once you get up to an edge length of 6, it starts doing stuff like this. And I mean, and this is a good result. This is about the best you can hope for. So yeah, building a solid icosahedron is kind of not really doable if you want it to look good. So this is an alternative to that is not actually solid, it's hollow in the middle, but I think that it looks a lot better. And it's not solid, but it otherwise looks exactly the same. So the way you start out for mine is you start off with a chain, and you start off by making a pentagon that the edge length of the pentagon is however long you want the edge length of your finished icosahedron to be. So for this video, I'm going to go ahead and do 6. So you want a pentagon with an edge length of 6. And then you want to build another pentagon that is one shorter than whatever that one was. So in this case, you would want it to be a pentagon with an edge length of 5. And you want to put a single magnet on top of both of those. And then you want to, flip your chain around and make 2 more of these that are the opposite polarity. Okay, and now for each set, the 2 that are the same polarity and different sizes, you can take them and attach them together so that the smaller one just kind of meshes into the larger one. And you may need to kind of adjust the faces so that they're all nice and flat, but this is what you end up with. And you go ahead and do the same thing to the other one. And flatten it out. And once you have these, you can take either one of them, it doesn't matter which one, and start creating walls. And the way you do that is you see how there's kind of an outer edge here, and it's 6 magnets long. So you kind of put a row of 5 down, so it interlocks in, and then you do another row on top of that. It's 4, and then 3, and then 2. And no matter what size of this you're doing, you want to continue down until it goes to 2. And that would be true if you're doing an edge length of 6 or 4 or 8 or whatever. You always want it to go down to 2. And then you see there's kind of this upper rim here. And you want to do the same thing on that, except it'll be smaller. So this starts out at 4, and then 3, and then 2. And then you can kind of press these together, and they should lock together, just like that. And you want to go ahead and do that on all 5 sides of that. And you want to make sure they're all touching together at that spot on all 5 kind of areas. And so you end up with this. And then you take this one, and if you got the polarity right, it should just click down on top of this. And you may need to do a little bit of pushing to get them to all fit together, but you end up with this. And then you want to take 3 individual magnets and put them down in there, and they'll just stick in. You don't really have to be careful, you just kind of drop them in there and they stick. And do that to all 5 holes. Okay, and then you can take individual magnets and fill these open spots in, and it should take 6 magnets per face. So it'll look like that, and you want to do that to all 5 areas. And then once you've done that, you can kind of work them into the right spot. Sometimes you have to do that a little bit, but make sure all the faces are nice and flat. And that's how you build a rigid icosahedron. It's not solid, but if you compare this to that, you can see why maybe this one is, you know, kind of, at least to me, it's preferable. Maybe if you want to have something, you know, totally solid, you'd like this one better, but I think that this one just looks a whole lot nicer. And anyways, that's how you build it. I guess I'll smash it.